Today, International Banker is joined by Ricardo Cuesta, CEO of Produbanco, to discuss the bank's continued strong performance and commitment to innovation in retail banking. Now, Ricardo, let's start with last year. Would you say that 2016 was a good year performance-wise? And in particular, what was the biggest highlight of the year and which area do you think needs more improvement?
Thank you. Yes, 2016 was, I would say, taken into respective standards of Ecuador, a very good year. However, our return on equity is still very low as compared to an average of Latin American returns on equity on the banking industry. We have developed and consolidated. 2016 was for us the first full year of our consolidation process with Groupo Promerica. So in essence, I would say it was a very good year because we completed the consolidation process and also we achieved our financial goals. We still need to do a number of things, and especially we're working on our cost process. We need to focus more into our operating costs, and also on our strategic plan, we are focusing on the differentiation process within our industry where we don't have that many leverages to do that. So what we're doing now is basically focusing on customer service as part of our differentiation plan.
And thinking about kind of market sectors, you are a market leader in corporate banking. What would you say have been some of the main reasons for your success in this area?
Well, Produbanco has been in business for 38 years, and initially it started as a corporate bank. What we focus on is trying to become or acquire the best people for the job. So our corporate banking sector is led by a senior banker that has leadership over several managers in this area. But basically, we focus on long-term relationships with our AAA corporate clients. For instance, 2015 was a very difficult year for Ecuador since liquidity went drastically down. We were able to secure our own funding from multilateral and bilateral organizations from outside Ecuador for about $100 million. So that helped us to increment our loan portfolio even though our liquidity was coming down. So that focus is really appreciated by our clients, and obviously we have created a lot of loyalty. Additionally, we have several strong alliances with 2 or 3 top names like General Motors Corporation, where we finance for them. We have another strong alliance with the major supermarket chain in Ecuador, where we handle most of the businesses that corporate client requires.
Now, when you were talking about the strategy, the overall strategy, which is kind of based on 4 areas, your main focus, though, for that is customer excellence above everything else.
Correct.
Looking after the customer. Now, what are some of the practical ways in terms of examples of customer service excellence in which you're trying to achieve that goal?
Correct. Since we merged with Groupo Promerica in Ecuador, we have been introducing a new cultural value within the new Produbanco, I would say, and that is customer focus and customer excellence. Like I said before, I think it's the only way to differentiate between our peer group and other competitors, since banking has become mostly a commodity based product, especially in a heavily controlled economy like ours. So what we've actually done is review our processes from the customer in the bank rather than from the bank to the customer the way they were established before. So with that, we're working on a lean process strategy where we are cutting a lot of different timely and bureaucratic and consuming steps where we are doing things a lot better. This involves a lot of new technology also.
Now, you've mentioned the challenges of the if you like, the economic situation Ecuador's in. It's in recession at the moment. How has that impacted on the business, and do you expect the country to exit recession this year?
As we were discussing earlier, Simon, the oil price dropped 50% in Ecuador's case. So it created a big hole for government financing. That impacted our liquidity overall. So since the end of 2014, and obviously 15 and 16, Ecuador has been under a recession period. Last year, our growth was negative. GDP growth was minus 1.5, and 2015 was close to zero. This year, 2017, they're expecting, official numbers are expecting to grow a little bit, probably around 1.6. However, other analysts are still predicting negative growth. So in essence, until we actually replace the oil income lost, we're still going to be hurting as far as economic growth.
Now, do you see the oil prices increasing at all, or any notion that they might head higher this year?
Well, if you look at all the analysts, our price is based on the WTI index, and that is being actually the medium and long-term assessment. It's going to stay around $50 per barrel. So I don't see it growing at all. However, the government's budget it's still fixed at around $50. What we need to do as far as the macroeconomic sector in Ecuador is to balance the spending side of the equation for the government and replacing that income that was lost.
Now, an important factor in that will be the kind of support and the, if you like, the agility of the SME customer segment. How important are they in the overall business model? And in terms of products and services, do you have anything in the pipeline that you would hope will expand your presence amongst SMEs?
That's a very good question. Since we are a major corporate bank, our strategy included to go downscale into middle market and SME and the SME market, because we already have the relationships from the corporate clients, and these other companies are their providers and their clients. So in essence, what we've created is like an atom relationship where we're going inside and trying to optimize most of those clients. So what we're doing right now is using our top corporate names and working with them in a chain reaction with all the suppliers and clients in opening accounts and making their life easier, connecting the supply chain. Additionally, for downscale SMEs, we have launched a new credit card, which is basically an SME credit card with a revolving line of credit, but that can separate CapEx and also operating expenses. That way, we have implemented technology again and innovation into that market.
Now, you've mentioned them a couple of times. How would you describe the bank's relationship with Groupo Promerica? Is there anything that can be done, in your opinion, to integrate the relationship further for more opportunities for prosperity between the two institutions?
Interesting. Groupo Promerica is today one of the, I would say, the fastest growing international groups within Central and Latin America. Its presence covers 9 countries in all Central America, Ecuador, Dominican Republic, Cayman Islands, and also the shareholders run a local bank based in South Florida in the United States. Total assets of the group are reaching over $13 billion. For Latin American standards, that is a pretty good sized group. Promerica was running a bank in Ecuador for the last 15 years. The opportunity arose to buy majority ownership of Produbanco and incorporate Produbanco within the group. So what we've done is consolidated into one bank, and now Produbanco is actually the #2 private bank by total assets in Ecuador. It will be number 3 if we include a state-owned bank. But that has become very important because we have aggregated to the total group's assets, but also because we have become, I would say, a think tank for the group, saving the the opportunistic words that I'm mentioning, because Produbanco had technology, Produbanco had experience, and obviously over a 38-year history, it has become a leader in the banking industry in Ecuador. So we are exporting some of that. What we are acquiring from Promerica Group is actually the leverage that as a group we obtain with the corresponding banking relationships in the world, the global banks of the US and the global banks in Europe, where our lines of credit are not viewed as individual banks. Our lines of credit are viewed as a group. So we obtain several breaks as far as costs and also as a major participant in the banking world in Latin America. We could do a lot more, and we're actually working towards that. However, we run independent banks because of different size, geographies, and regulations. Each of the banks in the Promerica Group are independent, but we are leveraging on all the important areas such as compliance. We have internal auditing and technology, where those things are actually very expensive to have as one bank. We leverage as a group.
As a group. So there are benefits of being associated with that.
Correct.
Yes.
Correct.
Now, you've been CEO for 3 years or so. Which, if you had to pick one achievement, have you been most proud? And which one aspect of the bank would you most like to improve going forward?
Well, this is still very early being CEO here in Produbanco, but I would say that we went through the consolidation process flawless. We had concerns that the corporate clients from Produbanco, the old Produbanco, might leave or might have some insecurities because they didn't know Promerica, but that didn't happen. I think we handled the transition very well. Today we run a mixed team where there's some old Promerica people and old Produbanco people building the new Produbanco. And I would say that achievement is to not only part of myself, but it's a teamwork achievement. Going forward, we are diversifying the bank from just a corporate or mainly a corporate bank into other sectors like the SME sector, middle market, and consumer, in order to diversify income and also diversify a loan portfolio. That would be the challenge.
Now, interestingly, you've just mentioned the blend of old and new and different kinds of talent. How do you ensure that you are attracting and retaining some of the most talented banking professionals in the industry?
Well, we've done several things in this transition, including moving into a new building. The financial and the banking industry specifically are also changing into, I would say, the digital area, and all industries are impacted. So what we've done is we have a management training program for young talent that includes rotation within the bank, but also we sponsor several of this, I would say, the most talented kids to apply for a master's degrees, and the bank subsidizes those degrees. Some of them are outside Ecuador, so they cut their careers, they go out for a couple of years and come back to the bank and obviously fit in different areas. But we are sponsoring. Additionally, the whole cultural concept, when we move to the new building, it's more, I would use the word Google ambient, where you have open office spaces, you have views from the new building, which is ideally located within a park, and also what we've done is set up things that the new kids look into a working space, which is sufficient parking. You have a cafeteria that is actually more than a restaurant, and we have a gym, and we have bicycling racks and we have showers and other things where the young people are really attracted to some of these things, and also having Produbanco's name behind it.
So the new building definitely has already had some impact on the business.
Correct.
Yeah, very good.
Correct.
Now, you've mentioned technology a number of times, and one of the stated strategic objectives is to focus on innovative technology. What are some of the most notable innovations the bank's developed in recent times?
Correct. We are embarked into moving, I would say, past the 21st century, as I say to my group. We are looking at the digital banking future, and we are developing several things. For instance, our mobile payment process using smartphones is actually one of the most advanced platforms in Ecuador, and I'd probably say within Latin America. We recently have most of the items that a major European or US bank has. Additionally to that, our omni-channel strategy is not only presence at the mobile set, we're also looking at a customer starting a transaction using its mobile and probably ending at a branch. But the platform has to be the same in order to maintain the quality and the interest of a potential client. We have launched 3 different strategies. We have the SME credit card, which is a very innovative product. We have an alliance that we call it PayPhone, which is a credit card within your smartphone. So you don't have to use your plastic. It's actually tied to, it's very similar to the PayPal brand of payments. This is owned by Produbanco. And recently we've launched the first digital account in Ecuador, fully digital. We call it B by Produbanco. It's the B in English. It's to be. So this is catering mostly the millennial generation, but also we've seen demand for this product from the 35 to 45-year-old segment, where you started on opening an account on a cellular, and you never have to use paper again. These are examples of what we're talking about in the consumer banking area.
And one of the things we always touch on too, apart from technology, which plays such an important role, is kind of the environmental impact that businesses have. How aware is the bank of its environmental impact, and are you taking any specific measures to reduce that?
Correct. We take it very seriously. I think it's a responsibility that most of the industries have, and it's very difficult for a bank to actually do or make an impact in this area. So what we've done is measure our footprint of CO2 expulsion to the air, and we have in Ecuador a company that has the measurements of the total footprint and what we can't absorb by projects such as LED lighting, as that's how you say it, in systems and paper reduction and all. We support a forest. Actually, today we have 950 hectares of virgin forest in the south of Ecuador, which compensates for the footprint of both buildings, the main building in Quito and the main building in Guayaquil.
Okay. Now, another area we always like to touch on is the kind of corporate social responsibility with which Produbanco is involved. That's improving financial education for various communities. Have you noticed any real measurable improvement in such communities as a result of that kind of work?
Yes. This is a long-standing project that Produbanco has had since its actually charter 38 years ago. It's called Fundación Cambio por el Cambio, which is your change for somebody else's change. And actually what this does is support kids that are underprivileged in the streets, and we give them education from the 6th grade to the 12th grade, and they graduate with a high school diploma plus some kind of a technical profession within this years of study. We sponsor approximately 450 kids per year, and they graduate with this diploma, and obviously are more ready to assume their current adult life in Ecuador. And with that, we also include their families as far as teaching the responsibility of managing their own financing, their household financing, how to handle their budget, how to handle a current account, how to handle a consumer account. And we have been able to explode those e-learning sessions using our own technology. So we do it through different e-learning channels that we have secure, and also with this school that I've just explained, so on both sides.
Fantastic. Ricardo, thank you very much indeed for your time today. Thank you.
Thank you, Simon. Thank you very much.